Mafia.
The blood spatter tracking went from the house to the street.
But why would someone want to target a loving father like Solomon?
That's the narrative. Drive-by.
Solomon's reputation in the community points to one potential explanation.
Why can't this be somebody's murder?
Solomon was known to be successful,
so we know that's
financially speaking, so maybe someone came after him for his money.
Figure it out.
I thought somebody maybe followed him home that night and robbed him.
But as the first responders continue to assess the crime scene, that motive appears less plausible.
The initial responding officers noted that he had on expensive jewelry and he had a significant amount of cash on him that was still there.
You know what I'm saying?
That would pretty much immediately rule out robbery as a motive for this crime.
Detectives believe that this looks more like a targeted hit.
But who's behind it? Unfortunately, none of Solomon's neighbors have any guesses.
One of the 911 callers, Freddie Zerain, was not able to get a good look at the shooter.
I didn't see anything. I heard the gunshot, and that's when I called 911.
They wanted to know exactly what I had witnessed, and I explained to them that it was mostly audible. I couldn't see because it just wasn't a lot of light there.
Initially, there were no obvious suspects. There wasn't a whole lot to go on.
Detectives are hopeful that Solomon's wife, Noni, may be able to give them the answers they're looking for.
Waited some time to play catch up to find out exactly what happened or not. Can you tell me what happened?
I was asleep, and I heard bam, bam. I got up, my daughter was like hiding in the hallway, so then she heard a noise.
The sound of the shots were so close, it terrified Noni. So she started looking out the windows.
At first, Noni says she didn't notice anything suspicious.
I came up to her and just got her sitting for me.
But then her daughter told her Daddy was shot.
She was like, Daddy was shot, and I heard her say, ow.
Your 8-year-old daughter said she heard you have to say, ow.
That's when she really started to panic.
Noni was surprised by what her daughter said because she didn't think her husband was home.
Well, that's why women
He
raise
left the
beasts,
house
boy.
about 1
Look how
o'clock
she
in the
is.
afternoon, and he had not returned by the time she
Don't raise a
gone to
man.
sleep.
What?
At that point, she knew that something wasn't right, and she called 911 for help.
She's so scared.
When detectives asked Noni where Solomon had been that day, she says he probably was hanging out with some friends.
The friends were the only be out with.
But I didn't know about his friends. I know he came to the guy named, they call him Marcel.
It isn't much to go on, but as investigators wrap up the interview, Noni is overcome by emotion.
She was shaking. She was scared.
And she reveals that there's a surprising reason why she kept her distance from Solomon's friends.
She offers up a new, shocking piece of information.
She informed the officers that her husband had a prior record.
Noni reports
See, that was a red flag me.
is a convicted felon and a drug dealer.
See, how you gonna give her information and your husband just got shot? So why would you start telling on doing this, you know what I'm saying? That don't make sense.
Different type of woman that brought out different side that you saw. It didn't make you want to like settle down with her. Like,
You talking to Boosie now? It's time to mingle and jingle. Make some noise, y'all. If I don't like what I see, I'm gonna say it. People make the real look fake.
why they keep checking your Instagram?
Cause Zuckerberg don't like me.
Are you afraid of getting canceled?
You can't cancel Boosie.
You ready for the smoke?
People love the what I speak about.
Morning.
Good news or
Bad news.
Oh, it's great news. We're getting a BJ's Wholesale Club.
That's the wholesale club with up to 25% off grocery store prices.
Not to mention aisles and aisles of fresh produce.
Grocery prices were killing me.
Oh, that's not the only thing.
Wait, what?
Ooh.
What does ooh mean?
BJ's Wholesale Club. Absurdly simple savings.
After a young father and entrepreneur named Solomon Stinson was gunned down outside his Jacksonville home, local police are struggling to account for the brutal crime.
It didn't make sense. Everybody loved him.
At this point, police were needing more information, and they were hoping that they could find more information by speaking with Solomon's wife, Noni.
Now, Noni has revealed a surprising new piece of information about her husband.
Noni says her husband is a convicted felon and a drug dealer.
Why would you say that he just got shot? Why would you tell him?
Noni's statement
That shit
could
don't
be the
make
key
sense.
to unlocking this crime.
That shit, if I was a detective, man, I
Drug
would
business
say
goes hand in
that wouldn't
hand
make
with
sense to me. bro.
firearms.
Maybe this was a drug deal gone bad. Maybe this was a retaliation or a hit.
No.
But before investigators can dig deeper, they receive a phone call about Solomon's condition.
They heard from the hospital that Solomon Stinson hadn't survived. At that point, it became a homicide investigation.
Man, sorry to tell you, but Solomon didn't make it.
When police told Noni that Solomon did not survive, she collapsed to the ground.
She was completely overwhelmed with emotion.
Solomon's family is just as devastated when they receive the tragic news.
When I got that phone call, I just was like, dropped to my knees. I wouldn't have thought in a million years the reality of it.
It was a tragedy. I just cried that whole night. It's unbelievable. You know, everyone was hurt, devastated.
Investigators know they need to act quickly in order to bring Solomon's killer to justice.
Police then gave Noni a moment to, grieve her husband and collect herself before taking her to the station for a more formal interview.
There, they implore her to tell them everything she knows about Solomon's illegal activities.
She was almost certain that he had been dealing drugs for quite some time. Years, in fact.
I mean, just the crowd of people he hangs with, stays out late, the money, a lot of cash.
A lot of cash and no accountability for the cash.
Noni says when she confronted Solomon about her suspicions, it didn't go well.
What's his reaction?
He was like, it's his business, and then I just...
It becomes your business too, your husband and wife.
This was actually such an area of contention in their relationship that it led to them splitting up.
That's one of the reasons why we separated.
How long y'all separated?
A year and a half.
But eventually the couple reconciled.
They had gotten back together recently because Solomon had informed her that he had straightened up his act.
He kind of led me to believe that, he would stop.
Now, Noni believes
Well, being a
Solomon's
killer and
illness
a murderer.
was a lie.
She made some good
Noni
strategic
suspected that
moves.
he
Some real
was still
good,
lying and
real
that he
good
was still
moves.
engaging in activities that he should not have been.
Noni reported a few
shit
weeks
won't
ago
fool
their
me.
home was broken into.
She felt that that was proof positive that Solomon was still involved in the drug trade.
But Noni says drugs weren't the only problem in their relationship.
Noni goes on to report that she was a victim of domestic violence from her husband.
Did you get arrested for that?
Every time.
How many times?
I think it was twice.
And to make matters worse, Noni also suspected that he was cheating on her.
She claimed that she found a box of condoms in his truck.
Condoms in the truck glove box?
Yeah.
I'm an equal opportunity interviewer, so after those, his or yours?
No, they're his.
Detectives end their interview with Noni, stunned by what they've learned.
If what Noni is saying is true, there could be multiple people who would like to see Solomon dead.
From a sworn mistress to a rival drug dealer.
At this point, the investigators really had their work cut out for them.
Armed with a more complete picture of Solomon's past, detectives return to the scene of the crime.
Police received permission from Noni to search her and Solomon's home in order to see if there were clues to what happened to Solomon inside.
Miss Stinson said you can search the house anywhere you like.
At first glance, nothing sticks out.
When police initially went inside, it looked like a typical suburban home.
But they soon begin to uncover evidence of Solomon's criminal behavior.
In a dresser drawer, they discovered high-caliber rifle rounds.
Then they found a revolver and tucked into a box of baby wipes. The weapon and the ammunition were sent out for ballistics testing.
But it's what police find in a spare bedroom that leads them to think they're on the right track.
Underneath a mattress, they believe they've found what might have sparked this crime.
More than 4 pounds of pure cocaine.
He loves that baby.
My pride and joy. And wait till you see the other 2 surprises. A joyful bundle of 3.
3?
I was thinking of gifting one to each of you. I got AT&T's bundle of 3, iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence for me, and iPad and Apple Watch for you.
Get iPhone 16 Pro on us, plus iPad and Apple Watch for 99 cents per month each, and save up to $1,700.
Walmart Black Friday deals are back, November 11th through the 17th. Score huge savings on this year's hottest gifts. For the deals you desire, get ready to shop Walmart Black Friday deals, November 11th through the 17th.
Whatever you do, it's got to be fun.
The wild ride's getting ready to start.
Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $8,900 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Plus, no monthly payments until next year. We are professional grade GMC.
What are folks 60 and older learning these days?
New perspectives.
How to fix things.
Fun recipe. When you want bedtime to be a good time,
Good night, sweetheart.
it matters where you stay. Stay and save up to 20% off. Hilton for the stay.
Jacksonville police investigating the death of 29-year-old Solomon Stinson have just made an alarming discovery inside his home. 2 kilos of pure cocaine.
Detectives know that it's worth thousands of dollars and could definitely be a motive for the murder.
This seemed even more probable based upon the fact that their home had just recently been burglarized.
Detectives theorize that Solomon may have surprised the would-be robbers, prompting them to shoot him and flee.
Detectives thought that maybe the assailants were caught off guard by Solomon being outside. And instead of finishing the job, they killed him before police arrived.
Hoping to drum up leads, investigators turned to their network of street informants.
They started putting out feelers. Hey, have you heard any information about someone planning a burglary on the south side?
Before long, tips start rolling in.
Homicide. One potentially credible tip came in that Solomon was murdered because he had ripped off one of his suppliers.
They received another tip that stated that he was killed over a drug disconnect with a guy named One-Eyed Tony.
Could One-Eyed Tony be the same man Noni mentioned in her interview that she only knew by the name Macho?
Police really struggled to identify who this One-Eyed Tony could be. Solomon's phone records failed to provide any help.
Unfortunately, that lead was promising at its inception, quickly turned into a dead end.
More than 24 hours after Solomon was killed, the investigation comes to a standstill. But that changes when a new witness comes forward.
Sit there.
Investigators speak to Solomon's sister Amanda. They learn some new surprising information.
I did tell the detective, like, something ain't right. I believe that this has nothing to do with the drug dealing.
Amanda's suspicions revolve around someone else. Someone much closer to her brother.
I told him to look at Noni Stimson. I believe she's the killer.
Could Solomon's doting wife, the same wife who collapsed to the ground at the news of his death, really be the one who pulled the trigger?
For me to speak that, it was the hardest thing for me to do, but I know I needed to say it because it wasn't adding up. Just all the arrows were pointing at her.
Amanda lays out exactly why she suspects Noni.
It's just the way she's been behaving. It's not normal.
What do you mean by not normal?
The way she was acting, it wasn't matching up. It wasn't no emotions, it wasn't no feelings. I knew for a fact something wasn't right.
Noni would not let her come over anymore and spend time with her.
I knew she was keeping something from me. The more questions I began to ask her, the more she started to pull away.
Hey, I came to check on you. I've been calling you.
Sorry, just been going through a lot lately.
Another concerning note was the fact that Noni was trying to schedule the funeral immediately before Solomon's family members could make it into Jacksonville.
We need to plan this funeral.
How can somebody pass away on a Monday and you trying to bury him on a Wednesday? We was trying to get family come in from out of town to come to the funeral. They couldn't even make it. That's how quick she was still trying to bury him.
Listen, Amanda, we just need to get it over with, okay?
Most disturbing of all is a rumor Amanda heard spreading among Solomon's friends and family.
She had heard that Noni was planning to leave the city any day now.
It was like she was trying to pack up and rush to go out of town so quickly.
I'm telling you, she's about to take off.
Where's she going?
I don't know. But you guys need to find her and get her before she leaves.
All of these actions made her feel suspicious about Noni and what happened that night.
Detectives find it hard to square what they're hearing from Solomon's sister with what they know about Noni.
Based upon the information they had so far, they had no reason to believe that Noni could have done something like this. During their interview, she was open and honest about saying that she and Solomon had issues that they were trying to work through.
Once again, shout out to TV1 for making this possible for, to be put out there.
Investigators had no reason to doubt Noni's story. She appeared to be forthcoming with them.
However, a call from the state crime lab will change everything investigators thought they knew about Noni Stinson.
When the police searched the Stinsons' home, they found a revolver tucked underneath some baby wipes. They assumed it belonged to Solomon.
The crime lab results came back, and that .38 caliber revolver.
It indicated that the bullet fragments that were found next to Solomon's body and inside of his body were a match.
Noni had the murder weapon the whole time.
New to TV One is Blackies. And Dre, Bo, Junior, Zoe, Jack, and Diane are inviting you every Sunday for dinner. So fix a plate.
You guys don't have any mac and cheese on your plate.
And bring the hot sauce.
You know that's a Patty LaBelle pie.
Table manners are optional. Just pull up and enjoy.
I have no idea what the hell this is.
It's fried chicken.
Black cheese.
Hello. Have dinner with the Johnsons and Blackies Sundays at 6 p.m. on TV One.
I avoided credit cards most of my life, but when I started to create a streaming platform for musicians like me, I knew it was important to build my credit to set my business up right. I heard about the Chime Credit Builder card and I signed up right away. I didn't have to worry about fees, interest, or credit checks. Within a month, my score went up. Now it's up over 100 points. I feel set up for success, and so is my business. I tell everybody about the Chime Credit Builder card. Here we go. Check it out at chime.com.
The moment I loved our Subaru Outback most was the moment they walked away from it. And that's why our family will only drive a Subaru.
Subaru, more IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than any other brand. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
Get special low rates on a new Subaru Outback for a limited time. Homicide investigators in North Florida were all but certain that Solomon Stinson was murdered by a rival drug dealer who was out to get him.
One of their contacts says that Solomon was killed because he failed to pay his supplier for drugs.
But now new evidence suggests that Solomon may have been targeted by someone closer to home.
Solomon's sister informed them they should be focusing their attention on his wife Noni as a suspect.
The gun that killed Solomon was in the home the entire time.
She was the only one that had possession of the murder weapon.
That instantly makes Noni the prime suspect.
Based on the tip that Noni plans to flee Jacksonville as soon as possible, investigators don't waste any time bringing her in for another round of questioning.
And in the interrogation room, detectives start trying to pick Noni's story apart.
In her last interview, she said she thought Solomon was cheating on her. Could that be a motive here?
Just off when he came in.
I didn't know when he came home, but I was asleep.
Noni just continued to maintain her same story, that she was asleep and awakened at 1:30 by gunshot. When they confront her about the .38 revolver, Noni acts completely surprised by this.
Did you buy that gun?
No, sir.
Have you ever touched that gun?
No, sir.
Fingerprints aren't going to be on that gun?
No, sir.
She claims she didn't know the gun even existed.
Oh shit.
At this point in the interrogation, the detectives directly asked her, did you murder your husband with that .38 caliber revolver?
You don't feel angry when that again? Banging somebody else coming in late at night?
You shoot him with any gun.
No, sir.
Realizing that she's gone from a witness to a suspect, Noni asks for a lawyer.
I don't want to answer any more questions.
That's good.
Even without Noni's cooperation, detectives believe they are still close to cracking this case.
Say that now. Scared.
But they still need the hard evidence to prove it. So investigators take Noni's fingerprints.
Detectives compare her fingerprints to the prints that were on the murder weapon.
It's a match.
So after they get that bombshell evidence, they then decide to arrest her for the murder of her husband.
At this time, you're under arrest for fatally shooting Solomon Stinson.
Bang. Yeah.
Detectives charged Noni with 1 count of murder and book her in the Duval County Jail.
News of her arrest comes as much-needed relief for Solomon's grieving loved ones.
When the police called me and
Chewy,
told me to give my language,
Chewy, do it.
I was like, God, I'm so happy that didn't get away.
We still couldn't believe it that it was her. You know, it's hard to believe that she would do something like that.
That was a bad time for them times. Man,
Now with the fingerprint evidence, this appears to be an open and shut case.
But Noni isn't done yet.
Noni Stinson presented a shocking new defense. She claimed that she did kill her husband, but she did so in self-defense.
He loves that baby.
My pride and joy. And wait till you see the other 2 surprises. A joyful bundle of 3.
3?
I was thinking of gifting 1 to each of you. I got AT&T's bundle of 3. iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence for me, and iPad and Apple Watch for you.
Get iPhone 16 Pro on us, plus iPad and Apple Watch for 99 cents per month each, and save up to $1,700.
With Walmart gifts for under $25, give the gift that shows you get them.
Swiffer Duster traps 4 times more dust for a clean even mom approves of.
That reach.
Making hard to reach not hard at all.
So easy. I taught him that.
And with Swiffer Sweeper Dry, you can trap and lock 2 times more dirt, dust, and hair.
Nice.
Rooms can just push stuff around, but Swiffer grabs dirt and even traps the hair. Swiffer.
Impressive.
The mother of all cleans. Love it or your money back.
When you want bedtime to be a good time,
Good night, sweetheart.
it matters where you stay. Stay and save up to 20% off. Hilton for the stay.
The moment I loved our Subaru Outback most was the moment they walked away from it. And that's why our family will only drive a Subaru.
Get special low rates on a new Subaru Outback for a limited time. It's the K Early Black Friday sale.
And now it's coming like, I want you here for the holidays.
Savings like these make wishes come true. Only at K.
In August of 2006, after Noni Stinson's fingerprints came back as a match to the gun that killed her husband, Jacksonville police charged her with murder.
At this time, you're under arrest for fatally shooting Solomon Stinson.
In the detective's eyes, it's proof that she did kill Solomon.
But when Noni's trial begins 1 year after her arrest in August of 2007, her attorneys present a surprising defense.
Her attorney makes the case that she was a battered and abused woman who had no choice but to kill her husband.
She claimed that she shot him in self-defense.
To support their theory, Noni's attorneys point to the couple's history of violence.
Solomon had been arrested for domestic violence at least twice.
And in a bold move, Noni takes the stand to testify in her own defense.
Noni tells the jury that there was an argument. The argument began when she found the cocaine in the house.
What is this doing in our house, Solomon?
Where'd you get that?
What is this doing in our house,
Are you
Solomon?
crazy? Didn't I tell you to stop going in my stuff?
They started fighting and things escalated.
Cocaine, really?
She says Solomon pulled a gun on her.
In the house. Solomon, what is
I'm
this?
gonna teach you a lesson.
Solomon, wait a minute.
Didn't I tell you not to talk to me like that?
Okay, Solomon.
Did I tell you?
Okay.
Man, get out of here, man. She probably was on that coke and all, man. That bitch done got geeked up, scared, and made a pothead decision. Killed, bro.
But instead of shooting her, he started punching her multiple times in the stomach.
In the midst of the struggle, Noni says she managed to pry the gun out of Solomon's hand.
She says she was able to grab the gun and then was able to fire 3 shots. 2 of those gunshots struck Solomon, and he then stumbled outside, where he was later found by police.
When she was questioned by law enforcement, Noni claimed she was too scared to tell the truth.
She wouldn't have any gun.
She told the jurors that as a victim of domestic violence, that she had become accustomed to lying and covering up abuse, and so that the lying to law enforcement was second nature to her.
On the surface, Noni's story seems plausible, but prosecutors aren't convinced.
When the prosecution has an opportunity to rebut those arguments, they start to rip apart that defense piece by piece.
When I first observed Noni Stinson right after the incident, she did not appear to be harmed, or her clothing was not disheveled in any way that I could see. And the house did not look like there had been signs of any kind of struggle.
Prosecutors contend that Noni wasn't a battered woman. She was an angry one.
She was tired of him lying to her and cheating on her, and she had just had enough.
They believe that when Solomon pulled into the garage on that summer night in 2006, Noni was waiting for him.
When Solomon returned home, Noni informed Solomon that she was tired of his behavior. So,
I can't believe you cheating on me again.
Cheating on me?
Solomon, I can't believe you cheating on me again.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. Look, I saw the condoms in your car.
at that point is when she pulled out the .38 caliber gun.
Baby.
We do not promote violence on this channel. This is like for educational use only. You know, I'm just saying reacting to that much. I just want that story really be told. We'll really have another reaction time, later time. You know what I'm saying? Ain't really no funny moments right now.
The prosecution points out that one of Noni's bullets struck Solomon in the back, suggesting that he was running away from her and not trying to attack her when she opened fire.
When both sides rest, the jury deliberates for several hours before returning with a verdict.
They found Noni Stinson guilty of murdering her husband. The judge sentenced her to 35 years in prison for second-degree murder.
I felt a sense of relief. She was going to be away for a long time.
But for Solomon's family,
Rest in peace, Chewy,
it's too little, too late.
I felt as if 35 wasn't good enough. You know, we wanted life. Because all of the lies that was told on the stand, you know, trying to get out of something that you did.
I still say it should have been more time than what she got.
6 years later, it looks like Noni might be getting out sooner, much sooner.
The appellate court reversed her conviction, finding that the jury had been given faulty jury instructions.
We was like, are you kidding me? She gonna get out? Everybody was just so upset.
In August of 2013, Noni's second trial gets underway.
She presented the same defense and the same arguments as in the first trial.
Noni Stimson doesn't get the results she was looking for, though.
Noni is convicted of killing her husband, but this time she was found guilty of the lesser charge of manslaughter. He sentences her to 30 years in prison, just 5 years less than what she was sentenced to on the original charge.
When we heard them 30 years, it was like a relief because we thought she was getting out.
Now Solomon's loved ones are left to grapple with the aftershock of Noni's act of violence.
My brother never gonna see none of his kids grow up. They never gonna see their mama or daddy. She left an empty space in our family life as well as her own family life.
He had flaws. However, there were better ways that this situation could have been handled.
Anybody that never knew Solomon, he was a good man. I mean, he was funny, ambitious.
How many of us did something wrong and we changed our life around? Only thing he did wrong, he chose to love the wrong woman.